All right, Jeff Surber, Operations Section Chief with Great Basin Team 1 with the update for this morning. We'll start here at the I-70 corridor on No Name. In the No Name area, you can see today that there's quite a bit of contained line shown. We're feeling comfortable with this portion of the fire that hit I-70, ran along the north side of 70 and then up into No Name. So that line has been added as a black line today. Moving up into the No Name and Grizzly drainages. That fire did not move much at all yesterday. It was a fairly calm day weather-wise, so it smoldered. I did not see any actual open flame in there when I flew at about probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which has been not the height of our burning period, but actually when the sun has been shining on those sides of the mountains and they heat up and activity starts picking up is about that time, and it didn't pick up yesterday much at all. The only actual open flame I saw up on the north end was over near the Horse Canyon over in this area, a little bit of group torching, but nothing significant. So moving over to this north side, you can see this dozer line. This is a direct dozer line that's been completed. This was indirect when we thought the fire might continue to move north. Once it stalled out, when it hit the higher country and the flatter country, we constructed dozer line. We have crews that are walking that, making sure it's all out. That's looking really good for today, and I don't expect any of this is going to escape all the way from the east side of the Grizzly drainage back over to Coffee Pot Spike is looking really good now. You can see that from our Coffee Pot area all the way back over to I-70 and beyond the line has been turned black. We feel comfortable with that now. I did see one small smoke down here by I-70 yesterday up in a cliff where nobody can walk. We took a good look at it. It has no potential. The ground fuel there is minimal to none. And so as it burns itself out, if it rolls down slope, it'll just roll into dirt and eventually go out. So no concerns really with this line. So we went ahead and showed it as complete. Lots of good work. All the folks are still out there. We have not released any resources off this fire over on this side at all yet. I would expect that in the next day or two, we'll start releasing some folks to either go to other fires or be used elsewhere on our fire. But so far, everybody else is still out there working, keeping eyes on this and paying attention to what's going on. It does take a while to demob resources to get them dozers and things like that back down off the hill, figure out how to get folks out of here. It takes usually a day or two. They want to make sure they don't send people home and then find out that there was a need at another fire when those folks that they sent home maybe had another week on their roll or their mobilization. So they typically have us hold them for a short period of time to make sure they search out other areas to see if those resources are wanted before we release them to actually go back to their home. Over on the south side of I-70 in our Division X-ray, we show contained line down here by the structures on the main Bear Ranch. This was burned, it's probably been 4 days ago. It's looking real good, so they felt comfortable showing that as contained line. And then yesterday we had a small burnout operation. Day before yesterday, they were drawing fire along one side of what they call Ike Ridge, which is their name for the ridge between Spruce and Ike drainage. They were drawing fire down there. We got some thunderstorms, so they held it up where this little blue flag is shown on the map. They held that up a couple days ago, and that went really well. And then yesterday afternoon, they went ahead and the conditions were right, and they burned the other little piece of that ridge down. So this is all looking really good today, all the way up back into the Spruce drainage over here. But we still have a little bit of this upper area in Spruce, probably from a line that's about here. Dozer line comes down from this fire. This is fire we lit 3 days ago. Forms kind of a little bit of an eyebrow right here. The idea is that we're going to bring fire down this hill and lock off this area so that it can't go back down towards the lodge and other structures there in Spruce. That'll start occurring today. It may take 2 days to get that done, but it's an uphill fire, and we're waiting for it to back downhill. It's backed into some aspen trees, and so we'll be lighting the bottom of that and using helicopters and whatever else we need to support that burnout. So if you do see smoke from from that area. Yesterday, it was smoky enough in the atmosphere that you probably couldn't see much of the smoke coming off this burn because it was fairly low intensity. It wasn't like going to put up a big column or anything. They tried to walk up the hill, light it, and then strip light it all the way back down to the line so that it doesn't build up a lot of intensity at once and throw embers over the line. And now they'll do the same thing in here starting today. Up on top, you can also see on this Division Zulu, this is all that high country, high open parks, sagebrush, aspen. Fire couldn't get established really up in there. It was slope driven, couldn't get established on top. They've been walking all this line, putting out spots, and they felt comfortable with showing containment on this much line. I would expect that to increase over the next couple of days from in both directions here, showing a black line there. Moving over to Division Alpha, they are just about done with the piece of line that comes up from about where it says creek right here on the map, back up to this dozer line. There was a section in there that we were concerned with sending firefighters into. It was partially burned oak brush and a kind of a dangerous place to try to walk down into when you can't see what's going on below you. So over a period of time, we dropped helicopter buckets of retardant in there, cooled it down, got heavy equipment in there, a feller buncher up top, and now we have a dozer that's almost all the way down to that power pole that I've referred to before that's right up on the ridge above I-70. So that should be tied in today with dozer line. There's a hand crew that where the dozer may have to cut through the black a little bit, the hand crew will go hook any portions of the black that are outside that dozer line. Since the topography is real steep, if the dozer can't, get on the side hill, what happens is the dozer will stay where there's no threat of rolling over, and then the hand crew will just make a hand line around back into the dozer line and catch that little piece of the fire that the dozer can't really reach. So we're doing that because the dozer is more efficient, faster line building and a wider line. So hopefully with that completion, we feel confident that this line, as long as nothing out of the ordinary happens here that we don't expect to happen, we wouldn't have to use this contingency line that we had planned and built along road systems and some hand line that's dropping down into the backside of, or into the east side of Glenwood Springs. So this all along was an insurance policy in the event that this acted up and we couldn't deal with it, but so far so good in there, and I hope it continues. Finally, the IA and structure group, we still have folks down here on the highway that can go either way for initial attack. I think there's not a lot of possibility of thunderstorms today. I believe our meteorologist said that threat is diminished a little bit today. So hopefully we won't get any new lightning strikes, but if we do, we're prepared to go after those. And then that red canyon fire that we had a couple days ago, we checked it both on the ground and by air yesterday, and it didn't show any signs of smoke, no heat, so we're feeling comfortable that fire's coming right along and shouldn't be a threat in the future. Thank you.